Hello everyone, my name is Rahul, and in this video we are going to learn about time to event analysis or survival analysis. Survival analysis or time to event analysis is specially used in medical field or medical research, then also in transportation and various other scientific fields. Time to event analysis is over a given it's actually mean that when a particular event will occur over a given duration of time or over a observation period. So the time to event analysis in medical field usually used for identifying after diagnosis of a say cancer, after how many days or how many years the person dies, or to know what is the probability that the person dies after 2 years or 3 years. Say after a heart transplant, if a organization wants to know after what is the probability that a person or a patient who has gone through a heart transplant this year, we will admit in say after 2 year or 3 year. Similarly, for product based companies like say for Amazon, they can predict the purchase probabilities, like what is the probability that a person buying a say tissue box for say pack of 6 will buy it, what is the probability that the person will buy after 2 years or buy after 6 months. So they will allocate these resources and to the near warehouse from where they can dispatch or it very easily. Or for say Tesla, what is the probability that the battery will die after 3 years, 4 years. If this kind of data, a mass such data a company has, then they can easily use those data to take leverage of and make decisions. If they know that the battery will die after 3 years, then state-wise, wherever the purchase rates are high for that model, they can allocate this kind of batteries there, so that the consumer can buy it with very convenient, or go to that shop and easily get that. Even I'm a transportation engineer, so in transportation research we can also leverage this for say pedestrian research. If a pedestrian arriving at an intersection and if the phase for pedestrian signal is red, so what would be the waiting time after that the pedestrian say there is no willingness for that pedestrian to wait more, or he or she violates that signal. So when the pedestrian is lost, loses such patience actually. So in aggregate manner, we can use this time to event analysis to identify what is the probability that the pedestrian waits for 50 seconds, or what is the time up to which 50% of the pedestrian stays or wait for the green. For this kind of time analysis, we can use this time to event analysis. Earlier that was used for say vaccine research or checking the effectiveness of medicine. It's also used in say vaccine treatments, like for current coronavirus treatment. Say a company comes up with a random selection of say a control group and a treatment group, and they try to compare the effectiveness of vaccine over given duration of time, like after taking the medicine or say vaccine, if a person gets affected, what is the probability that the pedestrian die in 1 year, 5 days, 10 days, 30 days. So this kind of probabilistic analysis which can be done using the time to event analysis. So in this tutorial we will analyze the time to three types of time to event models that is commonly used. One is parametric model, non-parametric model, then semi-parametric model, and parametric model. In non-parametric model, we are going to use the Kaplan-Meier estimate. In semi-parametric model, the Cox proportional hazard model. And for parametric model, depending upon there are different types of distributions that can fit the outcome variable. So we will talk about that in this video also. So for this video, we are going to use the lung cancer data set. So lung CSV, I have already extracted the data from this actually comes with R, so I downloaded it from R and compiled it here. And before that, we will proceed with this analysis. So first let's load the libraries. Here we are going to use the NumPy, Pandas, SPD. Then you have to install also the Lifelines package for survival analysis. It is in Python, so you'll get this either from Anaconda distribution or using from the pip you can install that. So using Lifelines, from that I have imported the Kaplan-Meier fitter that will fit the Kaplan-Meier estimator, and also the Cox proportional hazard fitter, PH fitter. Then I'm also importing the matplotlib such a pyplot as PLT, so we will plot those things. Let's first load the libraries, and after that this is the data source. We are going the data is come from this such a source, and let's load the data using read_csv, and this is the data. The data consists of these such variables. First is the institute, so the institution code from where the data is gathered. Then time, that is survival time in days. So up to from say start of that observation period up to which days, say for 1 year or 2 year this observation has been made. So next is status. So censored status is here actually it is in 1 and 2. So we will convert it into 0 and 1. So the data is in the 1 is just censored and the 2 is dead here in status. But I usually prefer the base category as 0 as censored and 1 as that's dead. So I wrote this here like this. I will convert to 0 and 1 later by deducting -1, deducting 1 from this status. So the status is censored here 0 and 1 is dead here. So 1 is the event that the person dead. So censored means in survival analysis the censoring is also different types: left censored, interval censored, and right censored are there. In this data we are going to use the right censored data. Right censored means here after observation, start of the observation, maybe the person dropped out from that experimentation, or somehow the participant moved out from that experimentation, or maybe the person survived up to the extent of the observation period and we don't know what happened to that participant. Age here, age is in years. Sex, male is 1 and female is 2, but I want the male 0 and female 1, so we will deduct 1 from that later. And PH ECOG is the ECOG performance such a score as rated by the physicians. 0 asymptotic, 1 symptotic but completely ambulatory, 2 in bed less than 50% of the day, 3 in bed more than 50% of the day but not bed bound, 4 bed bound. And PH Karno is a Karnofsky performance score. 0 is bad and good is 100 rated by physician, and PAT Karno is the performance score given by the patient. Meal calorie is consumed at meals, and weight loss is the weight loss in last 6 months. These are the variables. And so let's first select all the data or columns that we are going to use and saving in the data. Then as I want the reference category for the status, that is censored or dead, that is in 1 and 2 actually, but I usually prefer the base category as 0, so we will deduct 1 from the data status, so it will make the 2 1 and 1 make the 1 0. And similarly I also converted the 0 male and 1 female by deducting -1, and let's check with the head. And now you can see it is 0 and 1. 1 somewhere will be in later in the data, middle of the rows or somewhere else, but and status is also now 1 and 0. Next let's check the data types. So data.d types, and you can see the 4 variables are in integer 64 and rest are in float 64. And we also need to check whether the columns contain any missing values. So data.isNull function .sum method, it will give the column wise count for the missing values. The PH ECOG has 1 missing value, PH Karno has 1, and PAT Karno has 3 missing values. Meal.calorie has 47 and its weight loss has 14. So this are the following columns, and where the PH ECOG is a categorical data, so we can't change it or say impute it with a mean value, so we will later remove it, this one observation. And the total observation we have currently is around I missed that, I guess 228. And so except PHECOG, that is categorical, I will replace all the missing values in all other data that are continuous data with their average value, because I don't want to delete them. It is just for a demonstration purpose. If you wish, you can delete, but we already having a very small sample, so I will replace with the mean values. So here the data, the PH Carnot the column, I am using the dot fill NA and replacing with the mean, and in place is equal to true for all these these 4 variables like PH Carnot, PET Carnot, then meal, calorie, and weight loss. And after that, I am removing the remaining rows with NA values, that is for PHECOG, this one. And after that, I am changing the PHECOG to a integer 64 values. Okay. So after that, if you again list the NS, sum of the NS, okay, count. So here you will see that now there is no NA values or missing values in the observations. Okay. And next we can check the shape. Now we have 227 because we deleted one actually observation, that is for PHECOG. This one observation, it is a categorical. And now before we proceed with the different modeling approach, first let's just save the time observation or time column in T, and the data column or status in E. And let's plot the distribution of the time with a 50 bins using the plt.hist function, and show this. We can see that it is almost look like a log normal, or say we can say it is a Weibull distribution. Though the distribution can varies with tweaking the parameter, it will take this shape. So later we will compare in the AFT model how it look like actually, or which model or which distribution it really fits. So first we'll go and plot a non-parametric model, that is Kaplan-Meier fitter, using Kaplan-Meier fitter, a Kaplan-Meier curve. So at first we will call the Kaplan-Meier fitter as a class and create an object and save in KMF. So after that KMF.fit, we supply the duration time, that is T, and event observed, that is E. We already saved the data here, and then with plot with the KMF object we will plot survival function. This function we will call that will plot the survival function. So this Kaplan-Meier estimator plot look like this. Then y-axis the probability of survival, and then x-axis such the time frame or the time duration. So for example, what is the probability that a person lives up to 400 days? So corresponding that is around 40%. Okay. So what is the what is the 50% survival probability, or how many days 50% of this observation survives? Say around it is such a 380 or 310 or something like that it would be. So we can also plot this using kmf.survival function _plot, and that will plot without any confidence interval. And we can also use or plot the plot as a cumulative density, and it will has a plot a cumulative density function. So it is like 1 minus such a survival actually. So now it will show that what is the probability of say death, like in say 300 or 600, say 600 days, 80% people will die. Corresponding approximately, if we just draw a line corresponding 600, that 80% people will die or not survive. It's opposite of that. So we can also estimate the median survival time by calling the dot median survival time. That will give the 50% survival, 50% probability of survival. That 310 days, such 50% of the observation will survive, and 50% will die. That is the case here. So we can also use from Lifeline such utils, we will import the median survival times. We can compute the kmf.median survival time, and also compute the median, use this such a median survival time such a function, and supply the kmf.confidence interval. That will save in median confidence interval, and we can print both of this. So the median survival is 310 and the confidence intervals are 284 to 361. Okay, so 95% confidence intervals are there. Next is that in Kaplan-Meier curve, we can't use such we can plot the survival function, but we can't just observe the impact of different predictors. We can use such a few categorical data, and based on the subset of data we can plot different survival curves and compare them. And it has also some limitations, like it gives the step functions, like the function is not smooth, and if you have a limited sample, then this such a function will give some, say, over a given the probability remains such constant over a given duration of time, which is not also practical or realistic. So in this case, if you want to compare some different groups, we can also do that in using this by segregating, or by using the subset of sample of the data based on a particular group. For example, if we want to plot the difference, compare the survival curves for a gender group, like for male and a female patients separately, then first we here I have also given this code. So in AX I am supplying the PLT subplots 111, that is in single plot we want to we want to impose the male and female such a survival functions. So I'm using creating a mask where data sex equal to 0, that is male, and saving in M, and also kmf.fit duration is equal to T. From that I am subsetting the male where the male is true, and also the male observation, so the time event observations are true, and labeling that male and plotting the function in axis AX. Similarly, for female, while indexing I'm giving a tilde sign, so it will exclude where it is true, that is male is true, and it will select only the female, and I'm plotting and labeling this as a female. If you plot this will plot two separate curves. The orange one is for female and the blue one is for male, and you can see the female have more survival probability at a given instance of time. If you check, the female has more survival probability compared to its male. And this is also I'm also giving the at risk counts equal to true, so it will give a at risk table in tabular form, how many patients are at risk, how many are censored, how many events happened, events were occurred. It will also list that over the given duration of time. Next, to automate the process, we can use a for loop, and if number of categories are more, then you can use a for loop. So here from data I'm using the sort values and sorting pH epoch from 0 to say up to 3, and selecting the pH epoch and identifying the unique values. Then I'm using a for loop. I is the index and epoch types is the values in enumerate epoch types, these unique values. Then I'm supplying a axis, creating axis object PLT to subplots 2 by 2, that is such a 4 plots 0 1 2 3. So and increasing the counter by +1, and then I'm defining the IX where the supplying the data pH.epoch equal to epoch type, like say first one is 0, then second iteration 1 2 3, like this. And then I'm fitting the model and plotting the survival plots in that axis, and legend is false. The title is epoch types. Based on the epoch type it will title, and the X limit is 0 to 1200. So plt.title layout, it will compact the plot, and if you plot this, it will plot for 0 1 2 and 3. For 3 you can see that the plot is not good, because I think the observation is it doesn't have actually much large number of samples or observation. We can check using the data.pH epoch .value counts, and you can see the third level have only one observation. We can drop this observation, so I'm dropping it here, and again if we check, we have now 0 1 2. Okay, so 3 we have dropped the 3 category because it has only one observation. Now let's just go for the next version of the model, that is known as Cox proportional hazard model. So Cox proportional hazard model is a semi-parametric type of model. Semi-parametric, which means that rather it is semi-empirical model, because even if the regression parameters we can obtain the regression parameters like betas for different predictors, still the distribution of the outcome variables is unknown. Like the distribution of the outcome variable is not known here. Only for AFT model we can get the initially we will get the what kind of a distribution the outcome variable follows. Here we don't know actually, even though we can identify the impact of different predictors in the time to event analysis. So if we can go this to this page, and we can little bit read about the Cox proportional hazard model. The idea behind Cox proportional hazard model is that the log hazard, or what is hazard I will discuss after that. Okay, so the proportional hazard model is that the log hazard of an individual is a linear function of their covariates and a population level base hazard. So this is the base hazard, and this is the linear function of their covariates individuals. Okay, so this is the product of that which will give us the hazard actually. Note a few behavior about the model. The only time component is in the baseline hazard BT. It is a baseline hazard. In the above equation, the partial hazard is a time invariant. It's a scalar factor that only increases or decreases the baseline hazard. So based on the covariates, it will just changes such the baseline hazard. Baseline hazard goes up or down. Okay, thus changes in covariates. So thus changes in covariates will only inflate or deflate the baseline hazard. So let's go and see what are the also assumptions exist in Cox proportional hazard model. So first assumption is that independence of survival times between distinct individuals in the group in the sample, a multiplicative relationship between the predictor and the hazard. So this is the multiplicative and multiplicative effect, and a constant hazard ratio over time. That means the assumption implies that the hazard curve for the group should be proportional and cannot cross. That assumption we will try to see once we will fit the model. And so what is hazard and hazard ratio? Hazard is defined as the slope of the survival curve, so a measure of how rapidly the subjects are dying. Okay, so the hazard ratio will be the comparison of two groups is hazard actually. Say if you have male and female in gender, then you can compare what is the let's say if the hazard ratio is for example, if the hazard ratio is 2, then the rate of death is in one group treatment group or one group is twice as that of other group. Like for example, a male having twice such a hazard as a female. In many cases this happens, that male has such a more hazard of dying due to heart attack or other cases, where females have more survival chances. So let's see the data first, and we can see that the sex and the pH ECOGs are categorical here. We treat it as a categorical, but for modeling purposes we have to if we have more than two categories, we usually dummy encode those variables for analysis purposes. If it is for publication, that you have to do in first hand before you apply or fit the models. And if it is for some production level or just for prediction purposes, then you can go with this also, but that will improve the accuracy. So here we can use the pd.getDummies and supply the pH ECOG. I'm not dummy coding the sex variable because already it is in 0 and 1. And if you want to alter like 1 now is 0 is male, 1 is female. If you want to do alter like 0 female and 1 male, then you can again dummy code and change this. But here it is okay. 0 is male, 1 is female. And for pH ECOG we have 0, 1, 2, 3 categories. I guess 3 categories we have. Yes, 0, 1, 2 for pH ECOG. And if we use the pd.getDummies and supply the column and prefix is ECOG, and if we plot this, print this, then ECOG 0, ECOG 1, ECOG 2. So ECOG 0 is a base category, we can remove that one. So how it works, like the pH ECOG is 1 for in one category, the first of this 1, then it's 0, so in 0 category it is 1, then again 0 category so it's 1, then again 1, so in one category 1, like that. If it is 2, then in 2 category it will be 1, And so for base category we can remove this epoch 0 and just compare epoch 1 and epoch 2. Okay, so next is after the dummy coding, I am selecting this epoch 1 and epoch 2 and then concatenating with the original data set at axis 1, that is with column in the column direction, column wise, and you can see that epoch 1, epoch 2, but we have also the pH epoch, so we have to drop that column. So I am dropping this, and now we have the final data set that we can use for Cox proportional hazard model fitting. So we can call the Cox fit pH fitter class object, and we'll save instantiate a object and save in cph, and after that we fit, we're giving the data, the new defined data, and the duration column is time, event column is status, and we are also plotting the summary. So this is the summary. These are the coefficients. The exponentiate version of the coefficient are known as hazard ratio here, and the concordance index is one of the measure. It is 0 to 1, so 0.65 is I guess it is 0 to 1. So the 0.65 is overall a good fitted model, and partial AIC 1458, and log likelihood ratio test is there. So how will it interpret this model coefficients? So the weight loss having a coefficient of minus 0.01, we can recall that the Cox proportional hazard model, a higher hazard means more at risk of event occurring. The value exponentiate, if we exponentiate this minus 0.01, it called the hazard ratio. Here a 1 unit increase in weight loss means the baseline hazard will increase by a factor of 0.99, so about 1% decrease actually. Similarly, the value in the epoch column are 0 asymptotic, 1 asymptotic, but completely ambulatory, 2 in bed less than 50% of the day. The value of the coefficient associated with epoch 2 here it is 1.20. So exponentiated version of this is 3.31 is the value of ratio of hazard associated with being in bed, which is less than 50% of the day, compared to our base category, that is asymptotic. So compared to asymptotic, those are in bed less than 50% of the day, their hazard ratio is 3.31. So their chances of dying is 3.31 times actually. So next is plotting the dependent coefficients in terms of log hazard. So you can also plot this, and after that if you want to say plot the survival functions for the different covariates, for example I want to plot the survival function for different age values. So you can use this CPH plot partial. You can use the CPH to plot partial effects on each outcome. Then covariates is age, and values I am assigning 60, 7, 50, 60, 70, 80, and CMAP is color mapping is cool warm. You press Ctrl Enter, it will plot the survival functions, and the dotted one is baseline. So blue ones are having higher survival probabilities over the duration, and the 80 years age having lower survival probability. So older people having lower survival probability. So next is once we fit the Cox proportional hazard model, we need to check the proportional hazard assumptions. We can use check this using a log plot. Also we can use the Kaplan-Meier estimate Kaplan-Meier curves, but for large number of categories it is very difficult to observe. It clutters the plot. So for we can use the Lifelines package, includes different types of mechanism. You can read about that in Lifelines packages documentation. Here it includes we can do that using cph dot, that is our fitted object, dot check assumption. Check assumptions and data, p-value threshold is 0.05. So it gives you this test statistics p and minus log 2p. So the null hypothesis is that the variable has satisfied the criteria for proportional hazard, or that the variable satisfies the proportional hazard criteria. the null hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis that it does not satisfy the proportional hazard criteria. All the variables such for meal calorie, so for meal calorie the p-value is less than 0.05, it does not satisfy the proportional hazard criteria. Either we can bin this variable into different categories and try again, or different mechanisms are available to do that. And also we can go for say parametric version of the Cox proportional model, but here I am going to use such the parametric models, such like accelerated failure time models. Next, we can also use the lifeline such as statistics such import from the lifeline such as statistics. We can import the proportional hazard test. Then inside the proportional hazard test, we supply the model object, data, and time transform with rank, and we will print the up to 3 decimal place the summary on transformed variables, and it will give you the similar results that meal calorie of 0.03 less than 0.05. That doesn't satisfy the criteria or fulfill the criteria for proportional hazard assumption. So next is when proportional hazard assumption criteria does not fulfill for a single variable or large number of variables, then you can go for a parametric version where the we know the distribution of the or assume the distribution, or we already know the distribution of the outcome variable. So in parametric, the AFT accelerated failure time model is usually used in for modeling the time to event data with the covariates like independent variables. Covariates mean independent variables. And if you go to the AFT in accelerated failure time, this has a good documentation here. Suppose we have two populations A and B with different survival functions, survival A T and survival B T, and they are related by some accelerated failure rate lambda. So SAT is SB T upon lambda. So it is related with a lambda acceleration failure rate. This can be interpreted as slowing down or speeding up, moving along the survival curves. So either accelerating or decelerating like this. A classic example of this is the dog age at 7 times the rate of humans, like lambda is 1/7. This model has some other nice properties. The average survival time of population B is lambda times the average survival time of population A. Likewise with the median survival time. More generally, we can model the lambda as a function of the covariates. So SAT is SBT, so lambda x and lambda x can be expressed with the different covariates like regression. This model can accelerate or decelerate failure times depending on the subject covariates. Another nice feature of this is the ease of interpretation of the coefficient. The unit increase in xi, which means the average or median survival time, changes by a factor of exponential beta I. Okay, so if you exponentiate the coefficient, that is the factor by which it will changes actually. And important note is here on the interpretation is that suppose Vi was positive, then the factor exponential Vi is greater than 1, which will decelerate the event time, since we divide time by the factor, increases median or median survival. Hence it will be a proactive effect. Likewise, a negative Vi will hasten the event time, reduce the mean or median survival time. This interpretation is opposite of how the sign influence the event times in the Cox model. This is a standard survival analysis convention actually. This is important note that what is in Cox model, it is quite opposite of that. So let's go to the our notebook. And here from lifelines, there are different types of distribution we can that we can fit, like variable distribution is there, exponential distribution there, gamma distribution, beta distribution, log normal, log logistic. So here I am going to import some common distribution that will going to fit the variable fitter, exponential distribution, exponential fitter, log normal fitter, and log logistic normal. Then we'll instantiate as a class and create an object for variable, exponential, log normal, and log logistic. Then we will iterate through each model and then fit the model with the time and status, and we print the class model name and their AIC values. And the lower the AIC values, the better the model is. So if we instantiate, we can see that the variable fitter has 2286.14 lowest AIC value that fits the data best, I guess. So we can use this such a Weibull fitter as our final model. So again, I am taking the importing the Weibull fitter and fitting the model, and now I am printing the summary. So now I have got this such a coefficients. The exponential coefficient is the not hazard ratio here. It is a acceleration, a failure, acceleration factor, or sometimes called as a time ratios. Okay. So this how will interpret this such a coefficients or the exponential version of the coefficient, acceleration factor. So interpretation of the coefficient could be a unit increase in xi means the average or median survival time changes by factor of exponential vi. Okay, suppose vi was positive, then a factor of exponential vi is greater than 1, which will decelerate the event time, since we divide time by factor. That we already discussed. So directly we can go for the example. For example, here sex having 0.416 positive coefficient with a exponentiated coefficient around 1.516. So how will interpret this? Sex which contains 0 male and 1 female has a positive coefficient. This means being a female subject compared to male changes mean oblique median survival time by exponentiated version of 1.516. Okay, approximately a 52% increase in its mean or median survival time. So compared to its male, female having a 52% more survival time. That is the interpretation. We can also identify the median survival time or mean survival time of that Weibull fitted object. So median survival time is 419 and mean 495 around. And we can also plot the coefficients in terms of log accelerated failure rate. And we can also plot the Weibull depend survival functions such based on our Weibull regression fitter. And here I am using this plot partial effects on its outcomes, age range 50 to 80 at interval of 10, and CMAP is school warm. So it is now very smooth because we know the distribution, and the distribution is here the Weibull distribution, and it is if you see the dotted line is a base. Dotted line is the base version, baseline, and the young one for 50 years, such as the blue line, having more survival probabilities, and for the red one, the survival probabilities is considerably lower at any given moment of time, or at any instance of time, if we compare these two. So this is how the different types of non-parametric, then semi-parametric and parametric model can be fitted to model the time to event and or for time to event analysis can be done in this way actually. So in this video I have done using this Python, but in next video I will go with just Stata, and later I will go for R also and make a separate video for that. And thanks for watching.